we're going to talk about using a voltmeter to test your body cords. This is the quickest, easiest way to test what's wrong and where it's wrong. So, principles behind a voltmeter are you have the two leads and the screen on the meter. One means there's no connection, and you always want to have it. Voltmeter introduction. You always want to have it set to the little ohm sign. Looks like a little omega or an upside down horseshoe. And you can have it set anywhere in here, anywhere in the ohm range, and it will give you good readings. And then you want to have the two probes, one on the common where it says COM, and the other one where you can see it says where there's the little ohm symbol, the little omega. So up there where you can see it. Okay. And to test, it says 1 because there should be no connection. And then no connection because all we're testing is how good is the path between this probe, and this probe. It doesn't matter which probe you plug into which slot. And I touch them together. There's pretty much no resistance. These are old probes, so there may be like a little bit of wiggles of the resistance, but that's about it. You always want to do this as like a quick dummy check of, is my equipment all working? Is my testing box working? So it is. So we're good to test the body cord. So say I have it just all bundled up because I'm a good athlete. I'm going to test all of my gear before the tournament. So the important thing is knowing which wires connect where. So I'm going to start with the gator clip, which we know the gator clip connects to this prong, the one on the outside but is closest to the middle. So I'm going to test there. I'm going to try and do the test box without falling over, and I'm going to wiggle it here to make sure there's not a broken wire here, and I'm going to wiggle it at the edge of the gator clip to make sure there's a good connection there. And it is, so I'm good to go there. I'm going to test more. So we have the next thing is thin is in. If that's all you need to know about voltmeters and body cords, is thin is in. And then you can figure out the other two from there. So having a good strong grip between the probe and the thin prong, and a good strong grip between the probe and the middle prong. And I usually wiggle it around. The resistance is changing, but not too much. You'll really notice it if it becomes drastic. See, this connection is not the best, but it's not dying. And if you aren't having any problems with it on the strip, don't worry about it. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing here. Ooh, okay. So probably have a broken wire down here. You can see it goes to 1. I always want to double check with that I have a good strong connection between the probes and the clip. But on the thin prong, on the real end, I appear to have a broken wire, or at least a loose connection because I haven't opened this one up today. But that might not be. Yep, see, wiggling this end, it's not changing too much. And when you wiggle this end, you just kind of have to play with it and figure out which end definitively has the break. And then when in doubt, just open them both up because it's always good to check and see anyways. So now I'm going to check the outside one and the fat prong on the 2-prong end, and there's a good connection and nothing varying from that. Okay, so I did get a little bit of more resistance on the thin prong. And whether or not you go in and fix it depends on if you use the body cord today and it hasn't been giving you any problems. I'd say leave it, but if it starts to give you problems next time, you know where to look when you go in to fix things. I mean, it's pretty easily, the voltmeter is just a way to make things easier, because that way you know specifically which wire to look at. And so maybe you pull a little bit harder on it when there's a broken wire. Okay, so that's just general diagnosis, but say I am already in the body cord and I haven't gotten any, when I pulled on it, there wasn't evidence of a broken wire, and all the prongs appear to be strongly attached. So, it means I still have a problem, but I can't find it just by using normal diagnosis. So, again, back to the voltmeter. You can check it, test it at the prong, and see if there's a connection. Should there be a connection? There shouldn't be a connection there, so it's good that there's not. Okay, check it at the prong. I don't have any connection. That's bad. We're going to unscrew the prong. I'm just doing this at the 3-prong end because it's the end I already had apart, but you could technically do it at either end. So whichever end you opened up to look for the problem. And so now I'm just doing it to the bare wire. Still, thin is in, and to that one, there's no connection. It's more of a problem. So what I would do in this case is grab my screwdriver, give a good strong tug, and still nothing. Okay. So what I would do in this case is, even though I don't have indications of a broken wire, my voltmeter is still telling me I don't have a good connection, so my cord's not going to work. It could be that this body cord was old enough, and I can see just looking at it that the wire's kind of green. So what I would do is I would cut here and just treat it like there was a broken wire, but just to get fresh, pretty coppery wire to make a good connection. Otherwise, there can be a broken wire like deep within all the length of it, which is harder to fix because you can't exactly go around with a body cord that's half length. So my main strategy would be cut it here and treat it just like there was broken wire. You might find a broken wire. And if that doesn't work, then you can do the same procedure with the front end. And then if that still doesn't, and if it's still not working, then you can use this body cord for parts, because if there's a break somewhere in the middle, you're not going to be able to use it for much anyways. So you kind of just have to make the most out of what you got and what you can conceivably fix. So, but that's how you want to use a voltmeter to narrow down whether it's the connection between the prong and the wire, or whether it's actually a break in the wire that you're looking for but weren't able to find with the pull test. So that's if you have access to a voltmeter, which there are a couple in the cage that are always out of batteries, but ask Foil because Foil has voltmeters. You guys have a couple. And that's what we do.